YouTube, it's Lindy and Bart coming from the Bougie apartment tonight, and tonight we're gonna continue on the cultural differences between America and China that I've noticed. This is gonna be specifically about the school differences between America and China, and just to clarify when I'm talking about my own experiences, I went to school in Waukesha, Wisconsin for my education. I guess you could call it career, I don't know. But yeah, I went to elementary school, middle school, high school at a public school, and I went to college at a state-run college. Nothing super fancy, private, anything crazy like that. Here, I teach at an after-school thing. It's like a Kumon or like a Sylvan Learning Center that specifically focuses on English. And if the parents want their kids to study abroad, or if they want their kids to like just do better at English, they come and hang out with me. And the first thing I noticed, and I was like, what is going on here? Where the kids were asking me for permission to drink water. And it was like, Lindy, Lausha, drink water, okay? And I was like, so you need to fill up your water bottle? Because please wait for the break to do that. No, drink water, okay? They were asking me for permission to just drink. And I'm like, what? What? Because in America, starting in 4th grade, you were allowed to have a water bottle on your desk. And if you needed a drink, you would just drink. Like, you didn't need to ask for permission, you just drink. And I'm like, okay, guys, I know your parents pay for me to teach you English, but I'm also teaching you a little American culture. If I am the teacher, if I am in your class, do not ask me to drink water. Just drink it. Don't ask. And they were just like, okay, okay. And I'm like, if that makes you happy, like, okay, yeah, that's fine. And that just kind of blew me away that the kids would ask for permission to get a drink. Something else that kind of amazes me is these are little kids that I'm teaching. The vast majority are like 7, 8 years old. They are expected to have their little feet on the ground. If this is the kid, feet on the ground. Like, they don't want them crossing their legs like that or anything like that. Like, just feet on the ground, sitting like that. And I'm like, that's kind of mean, I think. They're little kids. They've been in regular school all day, and then they come and talk to me. And I'm like, they need a break. Like, I couldn't sit like that, and I'm 25, so no, I don't make them sit like that. And the Chinese teachers get mad at me, and I'm like, whatever, I'm under contract, you can't tell me what to do. As long as they're, like, paying attention, they can cross their little feet if they want to. And I know they're really, really strict with them at their regular schools, too. I guess there is a lot of screaming. Like, the Chinese teachers just scream at them, and I'm like, I don't have the voice to do that. It would really hurt my feelings if my kids were, like, terrified of me. So I just talk to them like I would talk to anybody else. I might change the wording a little, and I might be a little bit more gentle with them, but no, I'm not going to scream at them. I'm going to talk to them like I talk to anybody else. Something else that I feel really sorry for them here is school is their life. Again, little kids, they are up until midnight doing homework, and then they wake up somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 to 7, depending on what school they go to. And I'm like, I don't know if that's good for little brains. I know in America, kids typically go to bed when they're that age, maybe somewhere between 8 and 10, depending on the family and when they need to get up. No, here if you get 6 hours a night and you're in school, that's doing pretty good. When they're older in high school, they might be doing maybe like 4, especially if they have a big exam coming up. They just cram. And I'm like, my God, guys, I feel sorry for you. But if they're not studying, they better be asleep or in the shower. Like, they don't have any free time. You don't see kids hanging out at the mall. You don't see kids doing like tricks on skateboards. You don't see kids hanging out in like the coffee shops. No, if you are not asleep or in the shower, you need to be studying. And I think that's something that America has. I'm happy I grew up in America, let's put it that way, because I do think there's more to life than studying. You need to learn social skills, you need to learn money management, you need to like see different things. Even just in your city, like there's different ways people live, and if you're just studying, you don't get to experience that, and I feel sorry for them. Something I did do in American school that I'm like, oh, thank God, because I promised myself when I was like 7 years old, suffering through this, I'm like, if I'm a mom, I'm never gonna do this to my kids. I don't care how angry I get, I'm not gonna do this. We had Christmas concerts where you would sing for like an hour or two, and the parents think it's cute, and they take pictures behind the scenes. The kids suffer. Like for 3 days, all you do is practice singing. And the teacher's really mean and crabs at you and says if you talk to your friends, you're going to get drug off the stage and your parents are going to be mad at you. And you have to stand there and it's really hot and sweaty and it's awful. And I promised I would never do that to my kids. Here, they don't do that. And again, when I say a Christmas concert, we weren't singing like hymns in church. The most religious it got was Silent Night, but it was just like Deck the Halls and like Santa Claus is Coming to Town, stuff like that. No, and they don't even have a Chinese version. There's no like Chinese New Year thing where the kids sing and do cute stuff. No, their little butts are in their seats and they're studying. And when I say they're studying, it's not fun stuff. In America, we got to do art class, that was fun. We got to do music class, that was fun. And even the more, I guess, specialized stuff, because I took zoology, I took human anatomy, and we got to dissect like rats and sharks, and it was really specialized, and you kind of got to choose what you wanted. Here, it's not a thing. Your butt is in that seat, and you are studying what everybody else is studying, and you don't get any choice. And I'm like, poor guys. One of my students was saying that she was so excited to take computer class this year, and they canceled it because they're like, oh, you need more time to study for this big test. Because they do have a big test. It's called the Gaokao that they take at the end of high school, and that determines like what college they go to and what kind of major they can have. And I'm like, yeah, we have something similar to that in America, the ACT, SAT. But that, I took mine on Sunday. Like, that wasn't affiliated. Ooh, don't bite me. Don't bite me. That wasn't affiliated with school, because I think in America they realize that not everybody goes to college, and if you want to take the test, great, but if college isn't for you, you want to do something else, they're not going to waste your time. Here, that'd be like, what do you mean? Like, you have to take the Gaokao, like, that's just how it is. And I'm like, no, you have the choice. You have the choice. And they were just like, I want to go to America. And that's not even the first test that kind of determines their life. They get used to it when they're little, because I guess there's a test for what high school you go to. Like, do you go to a good high school, or do you go to, like, a scary, like, bad kid high school? And before that, there's a test. What middle school do you go to? And kids stress out over this. Like, kids kill themselves over this. And I'm like, why do you take a test? In my country, it's really, really easy. Where do you live? What school do you live by? Okay, that's where you go. And that's just kind of how it is. And they're like, that's so easy. That's so easy. I'm like, yeah, you guys are stressed. I'm sorry. And here they don't get to do field trips, because I was like, in high school we did fun stuff. Like for my zoology class and anatomy class, we went to the Gunther von Hagen's Body Worlds exhibit to like actually see the stuff. And that was cool. For Japanese class, we went to a local Japanese market to like practice it. What else did we do? Even in elementary school, we went to like the zoo when we were little. Like they partnered us up with older kids, like first graders with sixth graders. And you go once in first grade and you go once in sixth grade, and then the kids work together to write a report. That's not happening here. In my theater classes, we went to go see plays, and we even went to go see plays when we were little in elementary school. If we were like reading the book in class and the play was in the area, we'd go see the play. That's not a thing here. I've seen little kids in like kindergarten or preschool on a field trip to, there's a local landmark here, like the Bauji drum. I've seen little kids go there, but I guess after that, no, fun is over. Your butt is in the seat. And even stuff here, like that's supposed to be fun, isn't fun. Because I asked some of my students, what's your favorite class? And they say PE. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, what's your favorite sport to play in PE? And they just stare at me. And I'm like, okay, what do you do in PE? I guess I thought PE was like gym class where you play sports. No, I guess they run in circles. And I'm like, that doesn't sound like fun. I guess the reason why they like it is they don't have homework in it. And I'm like, okay, I see your point, but that sucks. If that's how you determine if you like a class is that you don't get homework, I'm sorry, guys. And something we learned in America, we did this in high school and elementary school, is they take the kids down to the pool and they teach them how to swim. In elementary school, they do it. And then in middle school, there's kind of a break on the swimming. And then in high school, in gym class, there's a swimming unit. And here, no, I guess if you want to learn how to swim, your parents do it outside of class, and you have all this homework and all this other stuff you're expected to do. So a lot of kids don't know how to swim, and I'm like, what do you mean? Like, there's a river right over there. I'd worry about them falling in, and like they don't know what to do. But a vast majority of my kids don't know how to swim. A lot of the Chinese teachers that are my age don't know how to swim because all they did was study. They didn't learn how to swim. They didn't learn anything like that. And I was saying earlier that if it's not on the Gaokao test, they don't learn it. I guess if the kids want to play like the violin or play the piano, or their parents want them to play the violin or the piano, or if they want to do art or something, yeah, school doesn't do that. I guess they learn a few little like doodles when they're in maybe kindergarten or first grade, but that's about it. If you want to do pottery, if you want to do painting, if you want to do anything that is not on the Gaokao, you do that outside of school. And I'm like, God, guys, like, I thought specials for kids were, one, to expose them to something else, and two, to kind of give their little brains a break because they're kids. I don't think they're meant to sit in a desk and study all day, and I think a lot of teachers in America would agree with me. And I feel really sorry for them when they get older. Like, American high school has prom, has dances, has, like, a senior party. Not here, because my students were saying that, oh, they saw it in an American movie, like, teacher, what are the parties at the school like? And I'm like, well, I went to like 2 because I was forced to go. I love someone who is 8 years older than me. I'm like, no, I'm not going to pay all this money to do it because I just don't want to, whatever. And they're like, that's so fun. You have a party at the school. And I'm like, I guess you could consider that a party at the school. I never thought of it that way. But they don't have that. And I'm like, okay, guys, if you want to have fun, you want to do the art classes, you want to do the prom, you want to do stuff like anatomy, zoology, you need to listen to me so you can go do like a year abroad in an American school. And I hope I got through to them and they can go and like de-stress there and everything will be fine. I'm not saying it all sucks, but I'm thinking a lot of it is really, really not fun. And I think kids, at least when they're little, should like school. And when they're fighting to go and they just look miserable, I'm like, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, guys. In my class, I have candy. We play games. I don't yell. I try to let them be kids for a little bit. And at least with the school, they do make them wear uniforms. And yeah, in America, I never wore a school uniform. And my students, teacher, so lucky, so lucky. It's kind of weird, though. Because the little kids, you see them like in blazers and little skirts, and they wear tights and like nice shoes, and the boys will have like a sweater and pants, and these are little elementary kids. But then when they get to middle school, I think they realize if you want these kids to study, they need to be comfortable. So they have like nylon tracksuits that the kids wear, like they have a zip up thing and then pants. And I'm like, okay, that's cool that at least they're comfortable and they're not stuck in like these weird blazer skirt things all day. And I know in America, because I did have friends that went to Catholic school, as soon as they got home, they would rip those uniforms off and put on play clothes. Here, I don't think they hate it as much. I don't know if it's like a symbol of pride for them, like, oh, I go to this school, look at me in my uniform, I'm walking around at the mall with my mom in my uniform. But you see them out, like they'll have their little skirts and tights on, and if it's colder, they have like a little jacket that they wear, and it's the school jacket. And I'm like, no, there is no way on God's green earth I would have worn a jacket from my high school, like not a sports jacket, but like just like, I guess a uniform jacket. No, I'm outside of school, don't tell me what to do, I'm not wearing your uniform. But here, they don't seem to mind. And they also, I don't know if you've seen this on like TV, the kids in elementary school, they get like a little red necktie for their induction with the Communist Party, and I guess that's a really big deal to them. And you'll see kids, they'll have like their regular shirts on, they still have their necktie on, and I'm like, okay, if you want to wear your necktie, that's cool. And I guess a lot of it is like pride, like, oh, I get good grades, oh, I go to this school, oh, I'm a member of the Communist Party. Okay, great, you're like 5, I don't think you know what that means, but okay. Something else I've noticed is Americans were kind of weird about our privacy. I know with grades, like the teacher wouldn't announce them to everybody, that they would just pass back the test. And I was told, if you don't want to tell your grade, that's fine. That's nobody's business but yours and the teacher's. If somebody's pressuring you, you can just say, I don't want to talk about it. and I think they could actually get in trouble for announcing kids' grade. That's not a thing here. My school does have like English speaking contests, and they have like the number 1 through 5 kids, like their names and their pictures on a board outside, and I'm like, okay. I've heard other schools, they put the good ones out and they put like the crappy ones out. So if you're good, keep doing a good job. If you're doing bad, oh my God, you suck, and everybody knows. And I don't know if that's good or bad for their self-esteem. But yeah, that's just what they do here. Privacy is not a thing. You know your rank, and you know where like you fit in with everybody else. And parents will say like, oh, my kid's like whatever number at whatever school. And I guess we kind of do that in America with the bumper stickers on the cars, like, oh, my kid is an honor student at whatever. And we have valedictorian, but I think you know like number 1 and then pretty good. Like you don't know the numbers after number 1 and like pretty good. Like honor student, great. But average, like if you ask me my class, I don't know. Like I seriously don't, and I don't think that's ruined my life or anything. Something else that I'm kind of happy they do, that they do get a tiny, tiny little break when they're little, is at around 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, depending on the school, you see these kids just come back, like just this wave of kids come back, and they do get to go home for lunch, and I guess they get to like relax for a little bit, see their mom, eat their food, and then at around 1:30 they start going back. Once in middle school and high school they don't do that, but I think it's good that the elementary kids get to go home and chill for a little bit. And I was saying, oh, I never got to go home for lunch, and they're like, really? Why? And I'm like, America is a car culture. To get to my school, you were not allowed to walk. There were times when I missed the bus, and I was like, Mom, I missed the bus. And she was like, get your butt outside and walk. You better hurry. School starts in like 20 minutes. And I was walking, and the bus driver actually saw me, and he's like, I gotta pick you up, like, you're not allowed to walk on the road, because I guess they don't want kids getting run over. You weren't allowed to walk, you weren't allowed to ride a bike, and I see their point, but here kids walk, and if the school's pretty close, they can just go back and forth, and if they want to go home for lunch, if their mom's a stay-at-home mom, and in a lot of families, they'll live with the grandparents, like, so if somebody can stay at home and can feed you and be there for you, and they can go home, great. But I was saying in my country, like the cars are there and kids can't drive cars, and in a lot of families both parents work, so there's nobody at home to feed them, and they don't live with their grandparents, so the kids just eat lunch at school. And in America, my lunch, you have 20 minutes to eat your food. By the time you get to the table, you actually get all situated, it's more like 15 minutes, so you're just like shovel. No, I guess they kind of leisurely eat their lunch. I'm like, in this crazy world of studying and sitting like this and screaming people, I'm glad you get to go home and chill for a little bit. Maybe they realize they are just little kids and they need a break. So that's just kind of some stuff I've noticed while being here, the difference between schools, and maybe it's fresh in my mind because I graduated college 2 years before I came here, and I finished high school in the class of 2009. I was born in 1991, just to give you an idea of the educational system I went through. Okay, so that's about it. If you have any other questions about China or stuff you want me to do a video on, let me know. I will try my best to write back to you if you comment. Thanks for watching, and have a good day or night. All right, see you later. Bye-bye.